I'm obviously going to be speaking about the program and the conglomerate of intelligence agencies and their states, social and political persecution of me, Stephen Bell, which has been going on since early 2009, and now in October 2020 there is an outright war being conducted against me. The specific actions that are continuously waged against me and the publics at large is what you call psychological operations, aka PSYOPs. In these regards, a conglomerate of intelligence agencies and their states, specifically United States, Great Britain and Denmark, are working closely together in this global operation, aka the program, which they in fact have been doing since 2009, or that is at least when the program became live. And ever since then, they have been primarily labelling me guilty publicly and globally and on a continuous basis of having committed sex crimes both in the past and in the future. However, now more than a decade has gone past, and those predictions that I was a walking time bomb who at any moment was capable, willing and on the verge of committing sex crimes and what have you, still has not come to pass. In fact, there still has not been a single charge against me in these regards. Nevertheless, a conviction against me for sex crimes or even anything of a serious nature, which is a fundamental fact in this never-ending saga that should surely give credence to the fact that I, Stephen Bell, am not a sex criminal of any kind, and never have been and never will be. However, because of the populations of the world, let that sink in, of the world, are continuously being bombarded with never-ending propaganda campaigns about my supposed guilt, not to mention the ridiculing of me and discrediting, which is also going on just as profusely. For these reasons, my personal actions and words in real life have no significant bearing on people's belief systems in these regards. So no matter what I say and do in real life, the majority of the population's belief system regarding me won't change accordingly to what I say and do in real life, but are entirely controlled by the state arbiters' broadcasting of PSYOPs and propaganda campaigns, and that is literally the state of affairs here in 2020. The modus operandi of the state arbiters of the program predominantly consist of them on a daily basis fabricating and broadcasting virtual movies to huge portions of the population and centering their endless talk radio that is occurring not just from the state arbiters themselves over the program's communication channels, but also normal media outlets, FM station, podcasters, comedians and everything in between, who are more and more creating their own shows and programs around the state arbiters' virtual movie fabrications, and thereby increasing the reach and continuation of the state arbiters' PSYOP campaigns, which through these mechanisms and others are endlessly being propagated and repeated on a global basis to much of the world. And that is precisely the intention of the state arbiters. The program is, after all, a social engineering and intelligence operation, constantly telling people what they should believe in, dictating trends, arbitrarily defining new rules and regulations that are not law, and having the majority of the populations conduct themselves according to these rules and regulations that the intelligence agencies are dictating on the fly, flagrantly violating the rule of law in our respective countries, at least in the West, and having the people who are losing their rights, freedoms, increasingly go along with the program based on this game show-esque and fictitious propaganda campaigns that are supposedly about me, Stephen Bell, and my life. Despite the very sad state of affairs that since the program began, my life is being more and more sabotaged and therefore more and more non-existent, and actually believing that all these propaganda campaigns and virtual movies and what have you that are being broadcasted on a daily basis are supposedly just about me is laughable, given the facts of my real existence. The state arbiters have truly created a situation which is not only continuous, but entirely an echo chamber, as everything and everybody is endlessly repeating their propaganda and talk radio, while at the same time they are also prohibiting everybody and anybody from having any kind of organic interactions or conversations with me personally, so nobody is ever allowed to ask me a genuine or really relevant question, and I'm not being told hardly anything that is being claimed and alleged against me, Stephen Bell, on a global and continuous basis, why I cannot set the record straight 90% of the time on any given topic. For the simple reason I simply just don't know. And to much frustration, everybody is following to the T the intelligence agencies' arbitrarily defined rules and regulations, and not to mention their pathetic trends in all these regards, which are ever increasing. There is nothing I rather do than have a genuine discussion about the state of affairs, which I find myself being the centre of, against my will I might add. It is just not happening for the reasons I have just stated, and all I can say is I am being totally and utterly socially and politically persecuted, and because of my persistent outspokenness through videos like this one, and my real actions in real life, I'm on the verge of being framed, and all I can imagine is that I'm going to be set up for something that is at least similar to what they are creating and broadcasting in their virtual movie fabrications. And despite this inevitable fact that I'm going to be framed, I can't wait to be charged with something, so I at least can begin to defend myself both in the court and publicly.